Kendrick is coming in with so much energy today, you guys. He is. He's voguing the house down.
Mwah! Hello.
Oh, it's so fucking funny. He has opinions about Martha's Vineyard.
Do I? Hey.
I feel I was like about to text you when I was watching it, but I was like, save it for the pod. But I know exactly.
And of course, I couldn't.
I know. You rarely are this hyped up. Kendrick even took notes on Martha's Vineyard. That's how he's
did.
He's like, I need to get all my points in. That's what he said.
This episode was like it inspired me. Like I was like, okay. Like the keyboard, I got these shades on. I'm like Ray Charles right now. It's just like I was on a tear. Okay.
He said he's like Ray Charles.
I was on a tear watching this episode. I made my sister watch it with me because she was here and I think she's into it now, so she might go home and start her journey. Yes.
Oh, good. Yeah, no, this was a great episode. And like Kendrick already said, Atlanta was a little bit of a filler.
Yes.
They could have skipped. They could have skipped to maybe get more of the event as opposed to like holding off on it so much.
Yes. Like the last segment was the party was hilarious, and Kenya going off on Marlo was always welcome. Like that was a beautiful sight. The first 40-ish minutes could have done without, it was a filler. And I told you that my personal feelings, I felt like this didn't feel like an episode of Atlanta Housewives because Kandi and Drew weren't there. And it just felt like they've been replaced by two new people. And I'm like, what show? It's like Kenya and like 6 strangers. Like, what is this? Like, I don't.
Yeah.
It was weird.
It's funny until you said that. I hadn't put it together. And then when you texted it, I was like, oh, that was what was different.
Yeah.
It was like we had a substitute teacher.
Right. And you know me, I'm all about, like, I always say my formula for great reality TV, give us group scenes, give us group scenes, give us group scenes.
Yeah.
But, like, we need some of our main players at the group scene. Like, it's a very new cast. Like, Sheree's confessional is always funny. Like, that's good. Kenya, her shade is hilarious. But it's just like, who's here?
It really goes to show you how, like, star power is a real thing. And without having Kandi there and Drew too, I'm going to give it to Drew. Drew brings star power. She brings so much energy and things.
Brings delusion. She brings everything we like in a housewife. Yes.
yes, absolutely.
Love it.
Okay, so guys, per usual, the timestamps will be in the description if you want to skip ahead. We're going to start with Martha's Vineyard.
But we know you're not going to skip because you're watching one of the best shows on Bravo right now. Yeah. So you're going to listen to this part. We know it. Yeah,
because honestly, if you feel like you're lacking on Bravo, because I feel like I have been feeling that way, Martha's Vineyard will bring you to life.
Yes, I feel like every episode like gives you something. Like I love it.
And
Great cast.
And I can feel too that I can't wait for next season. Like I can already feel that. Like I'm like, ooh, like the group is only going to kind of form more relationships and like, once you start filming shit and like looking at confessionals, doing reunions, crap like that, it gets even messier and messier. Yeah, so.
Can we predict? Do you think they'll have a reunion like this first season, or do you think it'll take a while?
It'll probably be a Watch What Happens Live special, if that.
I hope Andy at least watches the season so we can. It'll be an enjoyable reunion,
Right. Because you can always tell when he doesn't. You can tell when he's like, I just watched some like Cliff's notes that they sent me. Like, here's some main pieces we need you to know about. And
exactly.
But okay, guys. So if you're already subscribed, thank you, love you, mean it. But if you're not subscribed, hit the bell so you never miss an episode, and rate and review. Thank you again, you guys, so much for rating and reviewing the pod. After I called out and said I will not accept this, and
I love that.
Oh, I could not believe how much you guys rallied. And I have a horrible tendency, you know me, I have a bad tendency to read just the bad reviews.
Yeah.
Like I skip over all the good ones. I'm like, hold on, where's the bad one? But I'm scrolling and I can't even find a bad one. That's how many good reviews you guys have written in. So
someone has to say, one, that's the power that you have. So recognize your power. You've got power. And the people were like, no, we're not letting our Emily take this hit. And they bumped you right back up. So that's power right there. I love that.
It was amazing.
Yes. I'm one of those people. Go ahead.
No, I had like 200 more ratings overnight.
I love that.
That really
I
made me,
love
that made me feel so good.
I love that.
And no,
Oh.
Kendrick, half the reviews are like, love Kendrick. So Kendrick,
Oh.
you can go check him too and get a nice little serotonin boost.
You know, I love that y'all. I've told Emily this a million times, but I don't tell y'all. One of the things I do is like when I'm on someone's podcast, it's like my toxic trait. I will go, especially Emily's, because I'm on here so much. Just so y'all know, my picture literally appears on Emily's podcast and not my own. So I don't know what is happening, but okay, I'll consult the Apple gods at another time. It's a mess, but I literally, my toxic trait is I go around, like when I've recorded with people, and I would just like check the reviews every now and then, see if they said anything. Because I'm one of those people, like I love the positive, but I also like I like the criticism, because I like to see, like, if someone tells me like, oh, your audio went out here, or you did something like that, or oh, you said this word too many times, something like that. I start getting conscious of that so I can fix it in the future. So I'm all about criticism. The dumb stuff, you know, like people every now and then would just say something so stupid. I laugh, honestly. It's just so funny to me. I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah, totally. Bravo's hard to cover because people put their opinions in it. And if you don't have that opinion, that's what a lot of the reviews were. But honestly, you guys, thank you so much. And if you don't already know Kendrick, he is the host of Reality and Comics 2. And he's fantastic. And make sure you're following him on Instagram. And
I could use 200 new reviews, so y'all
get over there. That's a good point. Get over there and review Kendrick's podcast. God damn it.
I know. Unless I say something that pisses you off this episode, then, you know, just sit this one out. You don't got to review nothing. That's all right. Okay.
Yes. But yeah, everything will be in the description, of course, so you can support Kendrick in every way you want. But on that note, let's get into Martha's Vineyard. Here at She Speaks Bravo, we believe that Bravo TV is a great form of self-care and therapy. I mean, look at me. I've been using it for over a decade, and I'm a complete mess.
What is this, honey?
I love that.
I'm Emily. Every week, I recap the latest episodes of your favorite Bravo shows, from Housewives to Vanderpump Rules.
We need to get more cosmopolitan. Hub-teeny.
So if you're not already subscribed, get subscribed and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Okay. I love that Nick thinks he's going to get away with announcing he's got this girlfriend, and they're going to be like, cool. Okay. No follow-up questions.
Right.
These are the girls you fucking DM'd.
Right.
Oh,
How
he's
wild
ridiculous.
is this? Like, my favorite line in this episode, like there was a lot of good stuff in this episode. It was such a throwaway line, but when he was trying to give Silas that advice, and Silas gets in the confessional and he says, I am not taking marriage advice from someone with a secret girlfriend.
Yeah.
I was like, right, like the audacity of somebody who has been flirting with every woman on Instagram and come in here and, like, not only that, I would be so embarrassed if I was his girlfriend. But two, he's got her picture now all on the episodes and everything. I was like, oh.
Yeah. No, if I was that girlfriend, I would be furious. I would be embarrassed. I would be like, you better pretend like we broke up and you just didn't want to tell people, because that is embarrassing. Like,
I would be single.
My man, and you've got all these stories. Oh, horrible.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Ow.
Obsessed with the fact that Preston was forced to work out with the guys.
Yes.
While the girls go on their mimosa walk, which I was obsessed with. I'm like, oh, mimosa walk. They made that sound cute.
I love that. I definitely would have been with that group, though. I'm okay.
You would have absolutely been with that group. You would have said absolutely. And Silas, of course, takes it way too serious, and he starts thinking he can like military push Preston, and Preston's like, no, we will not be doing that. Okay.
I love Preston is strong in his word. He is not like, I love it because he's like really goofy, but until he's so intelligent.
Yes.
And so like he doesn't go for the crap that they try to do, and I love it. He's just like, nope, I know what I want. That ain't it. Not interested. I'd much rather be drinking mimosas right now. Not doing it with you.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not impressed by your guys' ability to do this. I don't care.
Right.
I'm not about to try to keep up.
No.
The guys do talk about the whole free drinks conversation, and Silas look, he is absolutely not used to that Jasmine.
Nope.
And he's going to have a real hard time with it. I
Mhm.
wouldn't be surprised though if Jasmine kind of marketed herself to him as like not that girl.
Mhm.
And so now he's like, "Well, who's this? My girl wouldn't even want to get free drinks." And
Right.
she's like, "Yes, I would." And he's like, "What?" So lots of adjusting.
Mhm.
But here's Nick coming in here acting like he turned out so great. He's like, "Listen, my mom was a single mom and independence, and I came out pretty good." I'm like, "Sir,
Let's ask your secret girlfriend what she thinks about it.
you just okay. I don't think that. All right, he's oblivious. He really is.
Very much, yeah.
All the groups, they're like the girls and the guys are like this girlfriend situation, and the girls
Mhm.
they said exactly what we said about why he didn't tell them right away about the girl. He came to test out the waters.
Yep.
And then when that didn't pan out, he's like, I have a girlfriend. That's why I'm not actually getting with anyone. Oh, okay. Sure.
Playing
So
on our intelligence.
I have a question.
Okay.
Shanice leaves to go back to work and then she comes. Does she have to take a little plane every single time?
I think so, because like
That's
she's not
that's
there.
a lot.
Like,
It's one
yeah.
thing to do like from, the Hamptons to the city where it's a drive, but to be like, I'm going to be hopping on a little plane.
Oh, that would
Ooh.
scare me.
Hell
Like,
no. That's too many. You're doing it too many times. So like the
Right.
statistics of it feel.
And what kind of is it like a pontoon boat? Like what is it? Like one of the ones that land in the water?
They said it was like, they said you either get there by little boat or little plane or little, yeah.
Get me there by little train or something, because I can't
train.
do that.
Little train,
No,
little
no.
underground train, like under the
Exactly.
water, a little tunnel. Ooh,
Yes.
like a little aquarium.
Ooh,
We're like,
I
ooh,
do
the
like
sea
that.
life.
When you said underground train, I immediately thought of Porsche.
Porsche.
I don't know why.
The railroad.
If you know, you know, everyone.
Girl.
Yeesh.
Alex like kind of makes a sexual joke towards Jordan, and Jordan is correct in her confessional. She's like, I don't know what he's doing. Like, he is impossible to read. He's the biggest fuckboy of all of them.
Yes,
right?
Because he's that particular kind that's like the meditating guru, like he's very Hillsong, that kind of person, and then goes on about his own.
Yeah, exactly. Like anyone who preaches that they are, it's like he's aggressively spiritual. It's like, okay, we get it. You're gonna go meditate. God, stop talking about it all the time.
Get out of here.
You're not
cares.
like better than everybody.
Right. I will tell you this part. I had to go and like look up and see if people felt the way I felt, and I was a little. I rarely ever do it, but like every now and then, because like I was like, do I just like unjustly hate Bria, or like people hate her personality? And so like I feel vindicated in that. But in this moment, once I don't know if you ever pick up on it, but like I feel like in every explanation that Jordan gives, she brings up being a Playboy bunny. So like I don't know if it's like an insecurity she has, or if she just like really wants y'all to know that like I'm a Playboy bunny. Like I don't know what it is, but
good read, very good read, because she does always bring it up, and she justifies it a lot.
Yes,
and I'm sure it was a very big decision to do it, and it does feel a bit defensive, maybe.
Yeah, it's right. It's something that I can't quite, because she says it like with such confidence that it kind of throws you off, and you're like, oh no, she's very confident of a woman. But I'm like, you've also kind of brought this up a lot. Like it feels like, because every time someone, like, I don't know if they flirt or something, so it makes me think of like if this is something that she thinks about like a lot. Like, oh my God, do guys only see me as this, or I don't know what it is, but. Child, you bring it up a lot.
Yeah.
Might be something to work through. Listen, people, stop being afraid of a good therapist, okay? Now, as long as you're not in the city of Atlanta, you can find you a good therapist, okay?
No one who's ever been on Bravo, except for the one who did the family karma therapist.
Yes.
What's her face?
Because
what are their names?
Vishal and Richa.
Oh my God, that was going to drive me crazy. Suddenly I was like, I know nobody on that show.
Right.
Except for Brian. Of course we know Brian.
Oh, Brian.
All right, so Nick does his little talk to Silas. Like, do you think you're controlling? I do like Silas's explanation. He goes, it may seem like I'm trying to control everything, but it's actually out of planning and trying to make sure everything is right. I did understand that, but also I'm like, it's a little different than you not wanting her to go get free drinks, Silas.
Right.
It's a little different.
Me and my cousin get accused of this sometimes. I'm very like laid back though, but my cousin is very like, she's very like, okay, I know y'all aren't gonna plan this, so I'm gonna just take the lead on everything. And then
exactly,
it's so frustrating because then, you know, like half of the family is like, well, what if we don't want to do that? Or what if we like, it's like, okay, well, what do you want to do? Because otherwise we're just going to sit here. Like, can someone say something? Otherwise, I'm just going to like plan for everybody like I always do. So it's a whole thing. So I get Silas as a person, but I get why people might see him that way, you know?
Yes. It's like you are still a little, maybe not jealous, maybe, I wouldn't say controlling. Maybe a little too attached. I don't know. They're still very new in their relationship.
You know what could possibly be the cause of this? I feel like had they been, I don't know what I just did. Had they been a normal like couple, I feel like they wouldn't have had all these issues. Like I feel like, I hate to say normal couple, but like if they had been a couple that had met under normal circumstances, dated under normal circumstances, and got engaged and married under normal circumstances, then I feel like he would have known this quote unquote other side of Jasmine that everyone else already knows that he feels like he doesn't know. But like they're a COVID couple. Yeah. He was in the military for like a good portion of the relationship and stuff. So it's like nothing about this is traditional. So I get why, you know, it makes sense to me why there's such a new dynamic. It's not just, I feel like people are gonna like blame it on being married now, like, oh well, that's what happens when you get married and stuff like that. But it's like, well, they're still kind of learning each other, it seems like they're, you know, they feel like, you know, those two people that get married that like you can tell they kind of get married because they want to be like this power couple. They want to,
very
this,
much.
And they give me that sometimes. And
that
it's
is
totally
the vibe.
Yeah,
Jasmine likes to flex that they're married.
Yes,
she very much likes to do.
She's that girl that's like, you girls use me as inspiration. It can happen to any of you. It's like, girl, calm down. No,
do that. Never do that.
Ever no.
Do that. Preston, Bria, and Amir have a very sweet scene in the kitchen. I couldn't tell exactly what like got Amir so upset or so choked up. I guess it's just as simple as, because Bria starts the conversation saying that she's like, I know you guys are going to drill Simon when he gets here. And he's like, because Amir looks at me like a little sister. And Bria asks him, do you feel anyway like I lacked on giving that same respect to you? And then Amir starts to cry. And I was like, oh, I had to rewind it like 5 times. Like, did I miss a line?
I get it. I understand it.
Okay.
I can't relate, but I understand it because how do I say it? So some of the conversations I've had with other people about like this show, when he's normally brought up, he's normally talked about as like quote unquote a certain kind of black person. Oh. And so I feel I can tell like he's dealt with this his entire life. Because if you notice, every time they like flashback or talk about something, it's so polar opposite than literally everyone else on the cast. Where he's like the oh man, are y'all gonna put, you know, the breadcrumbs on your macaroni? And everyone's like, no, what are you like? We're not doing that. Or have you been has anyone ever been fishing before? He's like, I've been fishing. Like I go fishing all the time. And everyone's like, okay, as long as we've got one experienced person. But like he's so like raised so differently that I think in his portion of the world, he's kind of used to being, and you can kind of tell like if you go through his Instagram and when he posts pictures and stuff, it's usually he's the only black person in the room outside of this show. And so I feel like he got so emotional in that moment because he doesn't normally, this is a rare opportunity for him to be like this engrossed in black culture. Exactly. I feel like that's emotional to him, but I also I just feel like he's doing a lot of learning about himself while he's doing this show too. So it's a lot of elements.
Where he said there have been a lot of self-discovery for me in such a quick time, and I haven't been able to process it. Okay, totally tracks with what you're saying. Like for him, this is a huge culture shock. Yeah, even though it's his culture.
Right.
But he's never been able to really embrace it. Okay.
I have a friend that I went to college with that he like literally everything they do reminds me of each other so much. And he was mixed, but he, you know, if people saw him, they wouldn't say biracial. And so, you know, he would always kind of go through these kind of, you know, crises and these kind of like self-discovery moments a whole lot too. The same way that Amir is going through it a lot. You know, he was raised by his mom, and his mom was the white
parallels.
parent. And right, exactly. And so it's all this kind of stuff. And so I feel like it's something that I've heard people that, you know, consider themselves biracial. It's something that I've heard from them talk about a lot. They're saying like, I really didn't discover that side of myself until I got much older. And so it feels like maybe he's kind of having this moment on the show. I don't know when he became friends with like this particular group of people, but I feel like that's, you know, once you get it, you kind of like, okay, I kind of love this. I want to like latch on to this. So I feel like his relationship like with Bria and everyone else is just so like personal.
Important.
Even though you can probably do without Bria, honestly.
Yeah,
Amir,
we can get rid of her.
Yeah. We'll
I did cry like when Preston gave him a hug and they had their moment. Like I was like, I feel it. I didn't know what sparked it because I thought it was something maybe Bria had said or something, but it was just him absorbing it. And so again,
she probably
the
did
depth.
say something.
She probably did say something. Bria, she's not good. Jasmine grabs the food delivery that's at the front door. She goes, "Okay, Abundance."
Yeah. I know she's a lot for most people, but she does crack me up.
I like her a lot. So they're sitting at dinner, and Jasmine decides to ask Nick about his girlfriend because she frames it like this. She goes, "I feel like I was planning on being like wingman for you, but now I feel like I have to support you differently."
Yes,
like he doesn't need to do shit for him, Jasmine.
Exactly.
But you always do this where you take on this like responsibility no one asked you to.
Right, exactly.
But Nick goes, "I regret being ambiguous," and Jordan goes, "What are we talking about?"
Right.
Like, I'm not about to let you use these terms. And she's like, "Didn't you say my wife?" And he, of course, is like, "I think the messages were friendly. I don't think they were overt." And then they keep showing like the DMs on the screen. And that producer went in. The producer's like, "Okay, look, it's not just the DMs they're talking about. There was another event." And Nick is like, "I didn't say that.
Right.
I didn't say it, okay?"
And they've got other people in this house that were there and can confirm.
Well, then Jasmine even puts the nail in the coffin. She goes, "It wasn't like he said it once. He was like a broken record. Shanice is my wife. I'm going to get with Shanice." So I'm like, oh, Nick, this is crazy that you think you're going to get away with this.
Exactly. I was wondering if you'd pick up on it, but this scene completely changed my mind about Jordan, right?
Yeah, right?
I am loving me some Jordan now.
Yeah,
I was like, she is messy, and I love messy in the best possible way, because he was about to like completely go around, and she's like, no, stay on track.
Yeah.
What are we talking about
ambiguous,
here?
you
Right.
No. But then Alex in his confessional, he goes, "I did not know how serious the relationship was. And if I had, I would have had an intentional conversation with them." No, you wouldn't have.
Right.
No, you knew. Be quiet.
Am I tripping? I thought in the last episode, like he was the one that knew, like one of the few people that actually knew about this.
But now he's claiming, "I didn't know how serious it was."
All right, Alex. And
then Nick's like, "We met in 2016 and we've been together for a year and a half."
What?
Nick.
What?
Nick, you are crazy.
2016. We've officially been together for a year and a half. That is wild to say.
Like, especially knowing. Are you looking at his Instagram?
Yes.
Yeah, look at his. I need to
together.
see. Is he posting with her and shit? Because anyway, they all go to bed. Preston is my spirit animal because he makes a whole plate of food and takes it to bed, and they show him. They show him just eating the food. I'm like, wow, that is literally me.
Right.
I always eat like in bed late at night.
Right.
This is when they do
That
a
is
little
very
group
much me.
texting. They're texting about how Simon's coming, and Bria goes, "I can't believe I get to spend a whole week with him." And Silas is like, "When the fuck did that happen?" I just love that we saw her ask them if it was okay.
Right.
Mind you, they were probably buzzed and it was loud.
Right.
What
And
are
I
your
will
findings,
say,
Kendrick?
I see nothing of this girlfriend on this
Oh.
Instagram. But maybe that's by design. Who knows? Knowing him.
She's
I
like,
don't know.
she said, take me off your fucking Instagram. We're done.
Right. Exactly. I had to write it down because I said, in Jasmine's defense, the flashback that they showed, Bria's exact words were, he wants to come for a week or like some change. So when she said that, I didn't know this was, she's like, he asked her, but I didn't know this was an actual thing. That tracked to me because it feels like Bria was like, well, you know, her pouty little girl way. She's like, well, this is his intention. This is what he wants to do. And then just kind of forces it upon the group.
It's very
But
her.
Yeah, very much
her. Then they have sex, and after they're done, Silas goes, "Wait, does that camera, can it like see in the dark?" And they're like, "Yeah."
They were going at it again. My
and
God.
he goes, "Ray J and Kim K." I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right." The next morning, though, Bria's like, "Jasmine, do you want to talk?" Because Jasmine was like, "We'll talk," and Jasmine just fully doesn't remember saying yes, obviously, but she does. She goes, "I want to bring it to the house," and I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Bria should have brought it to the house, and she should have asked everybody, "Is it cool if he stays for the, like 5-6 days?"
Like she should have did with Marlo.
Like,
but
yeah. And so I'm completely on Jasmine's side here. Like, this is a big ask, and you ask just two people. Like, there's more of a, and after the Phil incident,
right? We don't
which
trust
was your friend.
Judgment. Right.
By the way, your friend, okay? You were supposed to put some note on a bed that you didn't do, and look what happened.
Exactly.
Bria. But then Bria calls Shanice and tells her about Alex bringing up the stalker article. Shanice does not do a very good job, though, of like talking it down, because she's like,
she never does.
who's having these like serious conversations on vacation? I'm like, what? You mean a conversation about a person that is in the house? Like, that's not that absurd. What do you, girl? Okay, so you did do all the stuff in that article. I am now officially convinced that you did.
Yes, I absolutely believe it. Absolutely believe it now.
Yeah, there's not any exaggerations, I don't think. Because the more we bring it up, the more I'm like, okay.
You're right. To be fair, though, Alex is still dirty as hell for not like constantly talking about it behind her. But like, if you were so interested in it, ask her about, like, what are you doing?
Like, what's this about?
Right.
That's what makes it feel so sad. Like, if an ex, like, let's say it's totally false, but if an ex did write that about me, and instead of saying to me, like, ew, what's this? Like, tell me a story, and going to everyone else.
Right.
Snaky.
This is you know what? I hate to bring up this horrible show on this amazing show's time, but this is what should have been going on Jersey. If they like, if Marge's reaction was going to be justified, like nothing about. I'm glad that I haven't watched the reunion. I probably won't. I don't know when, but I don't know. It feels like this game of cat and mouse. This is what they were describing Danielle doing on New Jersey, but it's absolutely not what she was doing. But Alex is literally going around like, oh, she's stalking people, her boyfriend, this and that, like doing all of that. But Danielle's like literally like a throwaway comment. But I don't know. I don't need to bring it down the mood with New Jersey. Get them out of here.
Yeah, let me just erase that.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Bye. Goodbye. Okay, so they all go fishing, and everyone catches a fish, it seems. I feel like usually when we see fishing scenes on Bravo, I feel like no one ever catches anything, and it's really pathetic. But they were like pulling fish after fish after fish.
Right.
So
these guys, I will say I laughed a little bit because this is just where my black ass mind went when I was watching this show. When they were like going out there on the pier and the two white men were like waiting to like take them out, and he goes, "We've been waiting for you guys." Yeah,
we've been waiting forever.
I was like, "Were y'all late?" Like, oh my god.
I caught that too. He's like, that was his nice way of being like, "Yay, we fucking been waiting for 2 hours."
Exactly.
Yeah. They get back from fishing, and Simon has sent Bria flowers. I gotta say that looked like the most obnoxious thing to get out. She had a knife. She was trying to
God.
because it was so secured in there, and I was like, "Ha, that's what you get."
I wonder how it got there. Like, did they have to put that on the plane too?
Yeah,
Like, was there a flower shop around there? Like, good Lord.
Right? That's a good question. Summer arrives and she's giving all the guys Hillary Banks energy. This is where Jordan brings up her Playboy again. She's like, she interviewed Summer for an article in Playboy, and she's like, it's not just about tits and ass, okay? There's articles in there. And she goes, I leave my plate clean. There are no crumbs left. I go, that didn't work. No, not when you're talking about doing an article for Playboy.
Right, one article. I'm sorry. Accomplishment, definitely an accomplishment, but like, okay, like let's stop for a minute.
Honestly, by now, after the Secrets of Playboy A&E docu-series came out, Playboy's done.
Not
Hugh
aging
Hefner
well.
is a monster. Okay,
Yeah.
so no.
Can we? Okay, this probably I don't even know if this caught or crossed your radar, but we got to talk about this because me and Kaya had a whole conversation about this particular scene. So when they were in the confessional and both Alex and Nick said, yeah, she gives me Hillary Banks vibes. And then they cut back to Nick and he's like, do you know who Hillary Banks is? And the woman was like, no. I wonder if because Bravo's been making this big push to have the people that are in front of the camera look like the people behind the camera too. I wonder if that's, because I don't know one black person that don't know who Hillary Banks is.
Kendrick, I
really?
thought the exact same thing. I was like, so is it a white producer?
Right.
Because, even I know Hillary Banks, but maybe they're just too young?
I literally wrote down, I was like, either this
Too
producer
young.
doesn't know what the hell is going on, doesn't know what's happening. I was like, or it's one of these I don't know why I said Nepo baby, but I was like, it's someone fucking
Young,
right out of college, got their dream job, and it's like, hooray, congratulations, didn't work out for the rest of us that way, okay?
Yeah, because
congrats to you. But go watch Fresh Prince.
I thought the exact same thing. I'm like, if you either don't know Fresh Prince because you're too young, or you're white.
Which is
but
crazy.
Fresh Prince was so universal though.
Right. That's what
so
I'm like,
I think it's got to be youth. It's got to be youth,
or either super. I don't want to say super old, but super
out of
maybe,
touch, maybe.
Yeah. Something.
That's the other option. The other option is definitely that. The other option is you don't even watch TV, do you? Or
right.
something like that. But I agree. It was I thought the same thing. So wait, who are they talking to? But I do know that there was a who was the producer that was on the bus with Jen Shaw, Shanae?
Oh, Shanae, yeah.
I know she
she on the show?
This. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is one of hers. This is her baby. So that leads me to think that there were more black people on the crew.
Maybe this was an intern.
Because I thought
young
the same
intern.
thing. Who doesn't know who Hillary Banks is? It's kind of also just a cultural figure, pop culture wise. You know who Hillary Banks is.
You know Hillary Banks. You know Lisa Turtle. These people. What is going on?
Turn the camera around.
Right.
Let me see who that is.
I got questions.
I got questions. Yeah. Okay, they're going to play a game. They're going to play the flip cups and stuff. And they're going to do Team Alpha versus Team Kappa. And this becomes a thing. And I got confused. Maybe you can help me on this. Why did they not let Summer join the team?
So, I think they were referring to the Divine Nine. And I wasn't sure. So the Divine Nine is these are the Greek the historically black fraternities and sororities that were all came in the early 1900s when black people weren't allowed in other fraternities and sororities, so they had to literally make their own. And so there were 9 of them, the AKAs, the Alpha Kappa Alphas, the Sigmas, the Gammas, the Omegas, like she was saying. She who was it? Jordan had the tattoo of the Omega Greek letter because her dad and grandpa. The Deltas, like Robin is on Potomac. Giselle's an AKA. All these different. So I don't know for sure. What did she say? She said Alpha. What is she?
She said She was on Alpha. I don't remember, but she got kicked out of her sorority. And
did she say she was in Alpha 5? No, wait, no, that's fraternity. Hold on. She said she was in Alpha something. She was only, because I think she was saying the whole thing, but it was only 2. Alpha Pi? I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, they wouldn't let her join because they wanted to keep the integrity of the name. And she's like, that's sexist.
Right. I think my only guess was that it was a Divine Nine thing. Like, I think they were trying to, and I think they had the whole thing planned out, but I think they were like throwing a wrench in. They were like, no, this is what we're doing. Like, stop it.
Okay.
Yeah.
New Jason arrives looking very cute.
Wait, I want to go on a tangent about him in a minute. Well, not a tangent, but really quickly in the scene, it was such a throwaway thing. But this show is so like inherently black that like there's so much little stuff that I pick up on and crack up on. But I feel like there was another moment where Amir, it was kind of like it was showing that like that kind of not disparity, I guess, between him learning about like his quote unquote blackness at a later age as opposed to everyone else kind of being indoctrinated. There was a scene where he had the fish and he was just about to, I guess, like season it up, and Jordan kind of looked over and she was like, she was hinting and she's like, those don't look the cleanest and something like that. And he kind of took the hint. He was like, you want me to wash these off a little more? And she's like, thank you. She didn't want to say it to him, but like that. There's been such an argument about like between the black community and other people about washing your meat before you cook it. Cause like people like swear up and down, no, you don't need to wash it. It's more healthy and like all this kind of stuff. And black people are like, hell no, my grandma washed the meat. I'm washing my meat. Like I'm not cooking nothing without washing my meat. And so little small things like that always crack me up. And I wonder, because it's usually when they have these kind of like little things like the macaroni and the fish and all this kind of stuff, it's usually with Amir. So I wonder if that's why he kind of like, it all plays together, in a bigger picture. It's a lot easier to pick up on now too when he had that little moment with Bria, and it's like, oh, I see it now. Okay, yeah.
I love that. So Jasmine's all like huggy and stuff on Jason. I'm not getting the vibe at all that there's like sexual tension though. No. Like he's not interested. She's not interested. They are just like friends.
Right. Yeah. Agreed. Nothing to
But,
worry about Silas.
Obviously Silas is going to be like, what's happening?
I mean,
and that's his
good
right.
Reason. Good
that's
Lord.
That's his right. Bria FaceTimes Simon to be like, this is what's happening in the house or whatever. And then she says, show me your dick. They have to move, the camera like moves away. And I'm like, oh, he fucking did it. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
She commented on the size too.
What'd she say, 10 inches?
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay,
Don't
fine.
believe it, but all right.
Don't believe it at all.
No.
All right, they're cooking in the kitchen and Bria put way too much Lowry's all over that broccoli. That right there was so fucking rude.
They had already seasoned it, and you come in like messing up their food.
If I've cooked something and you don't need to. That's rude.
So rude.
She put it all over that thing. Like it was ludicrous what she did.
Blood pressure is through the roof after eating that broccoli. And it should not be that way.
Right? I'm like, what are you? Okay. But anyway, they're like something about trust Silas or I don't know. And she goes, I don't trust him right now. It's kind of a lot of talking over each other, but it segues into them going outside to talk.
Yeah.
She reminds him. Okay. So this is where it was just like, I'm going to lose my shit on Bria. She starts to say to Silas, you did say yes. And he's like, look, I realize that, but, the whole house has to be included. And I would never want to forget your concerns. He stays as long as he wants to. And Bria goes, you guys get to have each other and I don't. If he can't stay that length, because I feel like it has to do with race, it's going to come down with that. And I don't blame Silas for being so caught off guard because I was caught off guard. But she claims, her claim is that Silas had said, you want black women to only be with black men.
Right.
That is a much more aggressive way of saying what he did say.
Right.
And they flash to him saying, I want black women to be married, period. Would I prefer it to be to another black man? Sure. And then even Jordan co-signed that. And Jordan was like, yeah, it's easier. And then they kept talking, but he kept repeating over and over, I want them married, period. I don't care, just want them happy. But now Bria is like, you said that. You fucking said that. And now Jasmine comes out to try to help out, and Bria won't drop it. And she's like, he said it. He said it. And she's being so irrational. I was getting so pissed off, and I don't blame Silas for getting mad, but then Bria goes to Jasmine. He's getting loud with me.
That pissed me off so bad.
He is getting loud with he's getting loud with me.
Oof. You know how I feel about people trying to be the victim and the villain at the same time. And she does it every single episode. That whole she's in Mariah's face right with Mariah arguing, then all of a sudden at the club, I just feel like no one has my back, and she came here to a public place and all, like, girl, stop it.
Yep. And now she's
so annoying.
Crying. I'm being lied on. If I was in a car and you were dating a white man and I'm like, oh, I only date black guys. I prefer black women with black men. And Jasmine's like, look, this is a loving conversation. But Bria's like, no, I'm about to leave. And I was like, bye.
Right.
Get out of here.
Shoo,
you are a brat. Like, you are just, she's too spoiled. She has no business being in like a share house.
No.
Seeing the way her and Simon live, going on yachts and being all extra, like she don't belong in a share house. I don't need her back next season. She probably doesn't even want to come back next season.
Right. Like if you're gonna be like if you're gonna do this, I feel like she's not. First of all, she doesn't share, so no, she can't be in a share house. But I feel like she's one of those people that whenever she's in the room, just kind of has to like suck up all the air around them. It's just like all about her. It's her way or the highway. No, this and that. And the thing, what really kind of sucks too, and it's like no diss to anybody else in the house, she's in a house like full of people that are willing to compromise with her. And that's the issue, because I feel like she probably hasn't encountered anybody in her entire life that will tell her no. In fact, they're like, oh yes, and they tell her like, no, anything you want, you should have, and this and that, and you only got to get a man that's always going to say yes, and give you everything you want. And she's like, hasn't had like any kind of like reality check yet. That's like, we're not going to always get what you want. You have to share. You have to compromise, and nobody will give this. Like, I want to be in the house so I can tell her. Like, I don't mind telling her. I don't mind.
Kendrick's like, I volunteer.
Can I come?
I'll
come
there.
Next summer.
I'm telling you. Ooh, that would be fun. You should go.
Ooh.
That would be nice. All right, so it's toga party time. And Alex was sleeping like the whole day apparently, because he's like, what did I miss? And they're like, where have you been? Right. So they kind of catch him up, but they're playing flip cup, and they're having the time of their life while Bria is up there packing like, no, I'm leaving, clearly yelling at a producer. And they're like, please, Bria. And she's like, no, he can't say that to me. Like just totally throwing a fit. I know for a fact that a producer must have said to Silas, hey, can you go talk to Bria?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I said the same thing.
Because when he walked in, he's like, what's up?
Right.
Like, he didn't say anything. He's like, you want her to talk to me?
Exactly. You see, this goes like so against his personality, because you can tell he was like, nope, let baby cry it out. Like, let baby sit in the corner, cry it out. I had no intention of dealing with this. And so he like comes in there like, okay, why am I here? Like, what? What do you want?
What? And then
what are we doing?
She starts like, you have your whole dog here, okay? You have your whole dog. You're acting like because this couple is having sex, you should therefore be given carte blanche to do whatever you want with your boyfriend when he comes out. It's like, what? So Silas tells her it's not him coming, it's the length of time that people are having a problem with. And we did see Amir go, like, he's saying for like 5 or 6 days. Like, Amir didn't, they were not happy about it. It's a thing.
No one.
But Bria's like, who? And just being such a psycho little brat. And
it's like,
Silas,
okay, you keep asking who. That's why we should have this damn house meeting so people can tell you.
Yes. And so Silas calls her manipulative because you keep pulling this, like, you're a racist card, which is not a thing, by the way. Like, Bria, that was ignorant as hell of her to say.
Very.
And so she's like, get out, go somewhere, just like you control Jasmine. Bye. You're controlling. Everybody feels that way. She likes to have a good time, and you have a problem with it. These are not really insults.
Right.
That's just like his, what? And so, end of episode, but then next week it is on. Next week he's like, she's insulting my wife, and you hear Jasmine go, stay in your room. I'm like, yes. Yes. That she's the kind of person you want to just say, stay in your fucking room, don't come out. Like,
yes,
you stay in your room, and I don't want to hear from you all night. Like, a full-on toga party is happening, and Bria is in her room like
pouting like a child. Ugh. That didn't get the Easter basket she wanted on fucking Easter. Get out of here.
Go home then. That's fine. Leave.
Right.
And I don't know what they vote on, but it's they go, all those in favor, raise your hand, and basically everyone's raising their hand. So I don't know what it was. But then next week we're gonna see Amir doing that lap dance that we saw in the preview, like in that trailer. I'm like, thank you, because I've been wondering when we're gonna get that. Yeah, it looks hot. And
him and Jason should do it together. Okay.
Yes, totally. I'm there for that. Summer and Alex have a little spark, so that's he needs some distraction. I also need to see him with a woman. I want to see how he operates.
Yeah.
I feel like it's super toxic, but
I know.
I'm excited. But Jordan is celebrating her 1-year celibacy.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah.
Go you. Go you.
All right. Well, beautiful job, Martha's Vineyard. Now let's move on to Atlanta.
Shut up! That is so stupid.
If you are like my sister and I and hate your backyard, well, she's lived here forever. When I moved in, I was like, what's this? What's going on? What's happening? But it's always extremely overwhelming when we look into what we want to plant out there. You feel like you're kind of lost. She has planted every flower under the sun, and it's just died. But then along comes the sponsor for this week, fastgrowingtrees.com. They have plant experts that curate thousands of easy-to-grow plants, shrubs, trees, like Meyer lemons, evergreens, and everything in between. But sometimes it's really hard to know which plants will do best, but fastgrowingtrees.com gives you customized recommendations based on your specific needs. And their plant experts are always available to help keep your plants growing and healthy through the season and beyond. Another thing I thought that you always had to deal with, because whenever you see landscaping going on, they've got like trucks and guys moving everything. FastGrowingTrees.com, you order online and it's delivered to your door in just a few days. Hi, plants at my house. My sister has been having a field day with this website. Mind you, I'm about to move out, so I'm not even going to reap the benefits of it, but she's having the time of her life looking through things. And she's even asked a couple of the plant experts a thing or two because she considers herself a plant lady. Also, fastgrowingtrees.com has a 30-day Alive and Thrive guarantee, so you know everything will look great out of the box. Join over 1.5 million happy fastgrowingtrees.com customers. Go to fastgrowingtrees.com/bravo to get 15% off your entire order. Get 15% off your entire order at fastgrowingtrees.com/bravo. Do you like cashews, gummy bears, or olives? What about popcorn, saltwater taffy, or trail mix? Sesame sticks, dried fruit, chocolate-covered espresso beans. If your ears perked up at a few of those things, then did you know you can get all of those from one place? Nuts.com has it all. Nuts.com is your one-stop shop for freshly roasted nuts, dried food, pantry staples like specialty flours, and more. Their wide selection means that there is something for everybody. I wish I had known about Nuts.com because I think that they would make the perfect corporate business client gift type of thing. Because a lot of the time, especially in LA, you don't want to just get people like a box of chocolates or candy or something like that because, you know, everyone's on a diet. But Nuts.com is a very well-rounded package, like an olive package with some, hello. So I think it would be a great gift for that. I received all of the nuts. I got cashews, I got almonds, I got a bag of mixed nuts. And I let my sister and brother-in-law, because I live with them, I let them have some. And even they've been telling other people that the nuts are really good. So the quality is notably different. You can shop a la carte, of course, anytime, but you can also opt into hassle-free auto deliveries so you never run out of your favorite items. And if you're already stocked up at home, they also sell directly to businesses. So a little office snacky, you know? Snack with satisfaction, knowing the quality is a top priority at nuts.com. They roast their nuts and pop their corn the same day that it ships. So it reaches you fresh, not all stale. Since 1929, they've been doing it the old-fashioned way. One taste and you will know the difference. Right now, nuts.com is offering new customers a free gift with purchase and free shipping on orders of $29 or more at nuts.com/shespeaks. So go check out all of the delicious options at nuts.com/shespeaks. You'll receive a gift and free shipping when you spend $29 or more. That's nuts.com/shespeaks. Okay, so Kenya and Bonetta at their dance rehearsal for the Magic City, Classic City football, whatever the hell game is going to be sponsored by Kenya Moore Hair Care. Inspired by Kenya Moore Hair Care. It's like, that's amazing.
That is amazing. Love it.
They're building it all around that. And I like that she pokes fun at herself. She's like, my performance at BravoCon, instead of giving legendary legend at the ball, I gave you rookie at the Apollo.
Yeah.
And they repeatedly show her doing like her floor work, which was like, did she fall?
It looked like she tried her hardest to do like a death drop, but it was like, you know what, Chad, it would be like me trying to do one.
Difficult. Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been watching a lot of Drag Race lately too, and whenever they just throw them, they go all the way down to the ground, and and hit it so hard.
Everything, like,
I don't
from
get
death
it.
drops to as Anitra would say, walking the duck. Like, it's all like, I'm like, man, I wish my knees would give me a fair shot.
Ooh, that is not gonna work. No. Kenya gets a call from Roy, and Mark still won't sign the divorce papers, and he is the epitome of a narcissist.
Yeah.
He's
Research
awful. He's real, like, for real. That is such a narcissist thing to do. Like, oh, you're gonna leave me? Well, I'm not gonna let you. Like, okay, wow,
So creepy.
He's horrible. He really is horrible. Sonia with her mom and sister, she's given them a bunch of tasks. Like, she's like give like task after task after task. And then after that she goes, by the way, sister, Ross doesn't want you living here. I was like, oh. Okay. But I was thinking that I thought that her sister like didn't want to live there, but it's probably because it's free and like they're still getting on their feet. And so it's like, wow, okay. Right. But the confessional with both her sister and her mom, that would kind of piss me off if I was Sonia. I'd be like, I don't need you ganging up on me in a fucking confessional. That's a big thing to do.
Get out of here.
And they're both like, she's not selfish. She's just self-centered. God damn, you guys. All right.
Like,
I'm sure she is, though. Like, if you're an Olympian, like in the family, I'm sure for a while everything was like catering to her, but
I'm sure. And you know what? I don't even think it's like, you know, some people are like intentionally like self-centered, Bria, but like I feel like with Sonia, it's literally just like how the whole family has supported her entire life to get her to this goal, and so it's like you can't like indoctrinate me away for like 30-something years and then just be like, okay, flip switch, we're not doing any of this for you anymore. You're not the center of attention. You're just a bring person in the family. Bye. And it's like, okay, that's not how that works. So there's going to be a process. I need some, I was about to say I need some therapy, but she's in Atlanta. So,
nope. You got to go outside the state.
Yeah. You got to do that virtual. Yeah. Better help. Like, do something. Get something else. Not Dr. Ken. Sorry.
All right, Marlo does her like Halloween fashion shoot and she brings the boys. The boys are like, okay. Her sister's there.
She was my favorite Marvel character though, and I loved it. So that's the only points Marlo gets from me in this episode. Cause God, was she annoying this episode. But
And so, okay, Courtney's going to help her get her record expunged so that she can carry a gun. And I'm like, I do not want Marlo carrying a gun.
that is the wildest statement to like ever be uttered on TV. Like, I have to get your record expunged so you can carry, like, you can get a license to carry a weapon. It's like, okay.
I just don't trust that.
No. Like the last time we gave you a weapon, like
no,
someone's face was slashed.
Yeah,
so.
and like I get it. That's a different time of her life. She's not in those situations.
Right.
But we see her getting so angry and irrational. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I get it. She's scared. That was scary. The break-in.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. That is like there were multiple men armed and they're trying to break in. So fine. If she had a gun, it's like that could be. So if it's locked up in a safe in her house and she doesn't carry it in her purse,
right,
fine. But as soon as she starts carrying it in her purse, no.
Her and Kandi could get in a heated argument,
because
baby.
I was gonna say
biscuits and bullets.
Ooh, not good.
No.
But okay, now Marlo talks about Quentin, who we've never heard of before.
Never.
Until this fucking season.
Right.
So suddenly she's so upset about it because Kandi's now had another shooting. Question, did she say, was the shooting at the restaurant? Or was it totally unrelated for Quentin?
For Quentin, I don't know. It was unrelated. They said his roommate did it, so I think it was at the house. So like literally, it's Marlo grabbing at like literally like
I swear
a
to
floss
God.
line of trying to connect the shit to Kandi. Like literally nothing to do with her. Met the wasn't even at the restaurant. Barely met the guy. He worked. I get it. Like it's super sad situation, but like using this against Kandi is like that's a different low of like weaponizing pain. Like.
There's
weird as fuck.
So many other ways you could have talked about this with her. And so you're just doing this because like she was all triggered in all these weird ways, like because they didn't say shooting. Right. Now she's like, by the way, remember Quentin? Oh, okay. She's like, no flowers were sent to the funeral. And Marla says her whole family was asking, they're all upset that Kandi didn't acknowledge it.
Good child.
So wait, what did she say on Speak on it?
So there was one great thing. Kandi brought up the fact that, I hope y'all didn't forget, Kandi met Marlo's mom last season, and Marlo was like, her mom was like loving all over Kandi, so her mom didn't seem upset about it at all. But one thing let me go through the receipts.
Yes.
So Kandi posted receipts, because y'all remember on the Bravo episode, we see the text messages, but it's clearly like, my theory is that Marlo gave them like a doctored version of the text messages and they put it up there.
Oh.
So like Marlo says, Kandi Yams, did you have a guy named Quentin McNeil? I probably shouldn't say his name, but working for you at Old Lady Gang. Kandi said, yes, but he doesn't work there anymore. These are the ones that we saw on screen. She says, yes, but he doesn't work there anymore. She said, that was my nephew. He got killed last night. And then they show Kandi saying, oh, really? Then she said his mom just said he worked there. And then she was answering the question. She said roommate. No, we don't know in this version what question she was answering, but it says roommate.
Okay.
He got killed last night. Kandi posted the entire text message on Speak on it. And there's a lot more where it makes sense. Where like she's saying roommate, all this kind of stuff. So she says, Kandi Yams, did you have a guy named, Quentin, working for you at Old Lady Gang? She says, I can't remember. I will check. Showing that like she has no connection with the guy at all.
Yeah.
And so Marlo says, please do. So Kandi says, yes, but he doesn't work there anymore. Marlo says, wow. You know how you send text messages like at the same time as someone else? And
yes.
You can tell that's what happened here. So she said, wow, that was my nephew. He got killed, or he got unalived last night. Kandi said, oh, really? And then her next one was, what? Was like a million like question marks and exclamation marks, like all this kind of stuff. And then she asked how. So obviously like the one about that was my nephew, he got unalived last night, that came through at the same time. She was like, whoa, like more to the story.
Yeah.
And so that's when Marlo starts explaining the how that Kandi asked. That's why Marlo just said that roommate text message and said he shot him twice. So the whole thing, then Kandi says, damn, I'm sorry to hear that. So it's a whole thing. I don't know because it could be two things. I don't want to be like unfair to Marlo. it could be that Marlo gave them the whole text message and like they put in what they felt was the important stuff.
Okay.
To kind of, because if you remember like the way the scene was cut, they kind of like threw up the like individual text bubbles and like kind of went through it, so it wasn't the whole thing. Or Marlo could have went through and deleted some of those things and then gave them the text message. I don't know which one, but I don't know.
Okay, so hold on.
Mm-hmm.
He at the time he was no longer working at the restaurant.
No, not at that time. He'd been like a couple years or a while removed, I think. So
and so
Kandi,
what the? I don't mean to be mean, but like, why would Kandi need to bend over backwards for someone who worked at a restaurant of hers?
So Kandi even says, she says, okay, so if y'all don't know, like me and Todd have employed literally thousands of people at this point. And she was like, when he worked there, it was literally like COVID had like just started. She says she met him once at a Christmas party for Old Lady Gang, but then right after the Christmas party, she went to film The Masked Singer. You know, she won that season, The Masked Singer, so she went to film that. And then when she came back, I think it's when COVID hit. And at some point during COVID is when I don't know if he got let go because of, you know, the restaurants and stuff were down or what the case was, but no longer an OLG employee. So like literally Marlo is grasping at threads to make this happen.
This
very
is
weird.
Pathetic.
Absolutely pathetic.
Like, wow. She's trying so hard to make Kandi look like a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just impossible.
Right.
You know, like weird. Last season with the charity, with the donations. Remember when Kandi was like, I'm going to give you a bunch of clothes. And she's like, that's disgusting. Why would you give me all these clothes? It's like, I would do the same thing. Like, I would assume that that's what a donation is. But okay, like, I have no problem. But Marlo just keeps trying to... I'm telling you, Marlo, it's that thing I talked about last week. Marlo's embarrassed at her own behavior, and she's mad that Kandi doesn't have the same type of stories where she could sort of be like, that could be held against her. And so she's like, I'm going to prove that Kandi's just as bad, if not worse than me. I'm a good person. She's not a good person.
Yep. I 100% buy that theory because nothing else can explain
this is
why
so
Marlo
stupid.
It's so stupid. Like, she's hell-bent on making Kandi look bad or having an issue with Kandi. Like, it's getting weird, beyond weird at this point. Like, I don't
That
get
is
it.
such a reach. Okay, so she made it seem like Kandi was in the kitchen cooking with him.
Right.
because of the chef outfit. I just saw him in a chef outfit. It's like, just because he has a picture of himself in a chef outfit doesn't mean, like, wow, okay. This is fucked up.
Yeah, so like I thought the whole like thing with her and Drew was about her being mad that Drew was, you know, not saying whatever, but like all that stems back from Kandi too. It's like you're arguing with a whole nother person about Kandi. Like it's getting weird.
I like Kenya has the meet at Sheree's because her driveway is still so treacherous. Like, her driveway is just that bad.
And can I just say, if y'all don't remember like Sheree, first of all, that whole episode was like a shining Sheree moment. Like, that episode is probably one of Sheree's best in history. From her going down like Kenya's driveway is one, I don't know if y'all remember that scene, but one of the funniest probably in Housewives history, because everything she was saying, like Kenya's living like the Flintstones, and she like pulled the heels, like the sandals out of the purse and put the heels up, pulled the red like so she can go over. She's like, oh, red carpet over the dirt, okay. She's going up there. Ooh, she's like, that looks dangerous. Like, where's the party at? Oh, I guess not in there. Okay. She's like just going through the house, like shitting on everything on her way up, and it's just pure like delicious TV. It's so good.
Oh, so good.
I love that they flashed back to that. That made me want to go back and watch that episode because that is like peak Atlanta.
Kenya said 10:15, so now we're on a time check, and that always makes me nervous because you know, it's Atlanta. And no one's ever on time. And Marlo is last to arrive, of course. 10:35 she shows up. But now we find out Drew's sick and Kandi's not going to be coming right away. So it's like, okay, this is kind of the B team.
Right, like on that bus, I was like, what is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
We should have just like delayed this trip because, I mean, you can't delay the homecoming, but.
Yeah. Kenya gives them a breakdown of the trip. And Sheree knows. She's like, Kenya's up to something. Kenya cannot plan a trip. I think something happens to Kenya. She gets like a power trip and then wants people to like beg for, I don't know exactly. It is a weird vibe.
Who knows? Who knows? It's all weird. Like I keep thinking about them like sharing that crab cake when they went to wherever the hell they went to. It's all bad. All bad.
So she can't plan a trip. And then remember when they did the this is so many seasons ago where they were like painting the houses or making the houses.
Yes.
And someone called to be like,
Shamia.
Hey, Shamia, where do I go? And she's like, I can't talk right now. I'm building a house.
Yes, so dramatic.
And she does that. She kind of like makes them feel shitty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All the time. All the time.
But then they go to the dance class and Kenya's like, okay, I'm going to make you guys do a buck off. And then she just leaves them in there to go rehearse with Monietta.
Yeah.
And she knows she's taking too long. And so she's like, let me do a photo shoot of myself real quick. And so then they come out like, where did you go? This is your shit. Like, we don't.
Right.
And she's like, oh, you guys done? I'm like, is this on purpose, Kenya?
I know. I don't know what is actually happening.
Is it? I feel like it's got to be on purpose because is she really that rude? Although she was this rude at, what was it? Cynthia's Ultimate Girls Trip. Remember, she kept being rude. Like she was super rude. She went and made herself a plate and went and sat down.
Yes. And then last week talking to like when she's doing that whole, I feel like I'm such a mentor to all of my interns. And they like show her talking on the phone to the guys like, why wouldn't you do it the first time? Why did you do this? Oh my God. Like, goodness, Kenya, calm down.
They go to a dinner and Kenya worked with that Bryce guy. The one who was in, what was the name of the group?
What was it? Shit. Oh,
they said it again and I totally forgot to write it down.
Every time.
Producer asks if she dated him, and Kenya goes, he was a beautiful man in the 90s. I'll leave it at that. Okay. She was a beautiful, like, specimen as well, so she could pull in anybody.
Yes. So I'm guessing you didn't see, though, but Courtney did not appreciate that comment too much, even though they're not together anymore. And she said something online, so I'm sure they'll go back and forth. Right, I'm sure they'll go back and forth. You know, either at the reunion or online or something.
Courtney's so excited to have something to do. She's like, yes, okay, I can be mad at that. She is so thirsty. So she knows Twitter is where you got to go. She knows you got to keep going to Twitter. Okay, so Kenya brings up that Drew was upset about Marlo attacking her, and then Marlo tries to like talk over her, and Kenya's like, no, stop. And then Marlo has the nerve to be like, I was not aggressive at all. Girl, a producer was standing right there to make sure you didn't like physically hurt Drew.
Can I tell you what shocked me? Like the clip that they put in right there, I was like, that's what y'all chose. So that's why, like, Drew, I don't know if you saw, but Drew got online. She's like, when I said that she stood over me, I literally meant it. And they showed her.
They show her do it.
Right. But they didn't put that in the show. So this season, I don't know what this editing is doing, but I feel like they're trying to give Marlo a good edit. It's just not happening.
It's impossible.
Marlo is not going to let herself get a good edit, unfortunately.
No.
But I feel like I think that like all the guys over there, all the women, they're doing their best to like help Marlo out, like throw her a bone, and she just will not. Like she won't help them. She won't give them a lifeline or anything. She's going to make herself look as bad as possible all the time.
Right?
All the time.
Sonia goes, but you were triggered, right, Marlo? That was what happened. You were triggered and ridiculous.
Trying to help her, right?
And Marlo goes, you know what? Why don't you tell them why? Why don't you explain it? Because I'm just not going to say anything the rest of the day. Yeah, right. And then Kenya goes, Kenya goes, you can go then.
You're right.
But okay, they go to their rooms, and Sheree has this small ass room. And Marlo complains. She's like, I had a chef and a wait staff, and Kenya is just giving us these little tiny bottles of champagne. Kenya hates guests. She hates hosting.
Yes. I don't know why she keeps doing it, but.
And then she tells Monietta her outfit is inappropriate. And then sends her up to change, and then leaves her to go to the event. Monietta gets there at the exact same time, and she's like, okay, that was just you being petty, but all right, cool.
Exactly. And I could have kept on my outfit because
the event is busted.
There were like were there decorations?
There were no tables. There were no chairs. There was just like,
you know what that party needed? It needed to be gertified.
Oh,
is what it needed.
Okay, and I am just still so confused by the Kenya. What did you do?
What is this event? First of all, like, what is this?
Yeah, and so Sonia and Marlo get there late, and because Kenya left them, and then the producer has to pull Kenya aside and be like, "The people don't want us here." And Kenya tries to be like, "They didn't kick me out; they kicked production out." I'm like, "Girl, because you were supposed to get this is your event." Did you not tell them you were coming with a group of people who were probably going to get loud and they were going to film something? Lady.
Right. You know what? I feel like this is dumb on both sides, though. Because why wouldn't you give them the heads up? But then also, she's on like one of the biggest reality stars out there. Why wouldn't you expect
Why
her?
wouldn't you want that?
Right.
What was the event? Like, what were they
doing? Who knows?
Because I'm like distracting from what the event is. I'm like, what is it?
Right.
What is actually from distracting from what? What is
right?
It just looks like people are milling around having a conversation. It doesn't look like it's not
like a few curtains hanging up. Like that's it.
I'm confused. So anyway, but Kenya then goes to bed, and Marlo's like, "No."
Wait, can I?
Oh, go
before
ahead.
we get there, I love the fact that when she went up to tell them, like Monietta was like literally about to like tear up the dance floor, like she was ready, like twirling. She was whining, about to go down with it. But as soon as Kenya was like, "Yeah, we gotta go," she's like, "Well, damn, I was just getting into the spirit of thing. I barely had a drink. Now we're getting kicked out this raggedy ass party." Like, okay,
it was so raggedy's the perfect word for it. Monietta was a good sport too, because she's like, I could have kept my outfit on. You didn't need to shame me like that.
Right.
Because she really was like, "Oh, what are you wearing?"
That is inappropriate.
It also reminds me of from Ultimate Girls Trip when Kenya talked about how she had a nanny who came onto a private jet wearing just like some whatever outfit, and was you don't do that. And you got Kyle and whoever else was in the car being like, "Yeah, okay." Like, Kenya, she's got that side of her that's rough. But Kenya goes to bed. Marlo then complains. She's done this before, which she has. Kenya, you're a horrible host.
Yes.
They all walk up to the room. All of them. So it wasn't just Marlo. And they all are knocking on her door. So I know Marlo's going to get the bigger blame for it, but all of them were equally pissed and took turns knocking on the door.
They did.
They did. They took turns. It wasn't, and then Marlo, of course, goes to kick it, and I'm like, all right.
Always one step too far. Always. Like, get out of here.
And then Kenya opens it. She's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? My daughter is in here." And I was like, yeah, they had to have known that. Like, it was kind of intense from all of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That was a moment.
This is maybe what happens when like Marlo is the leader. Like she was the only one that was kind of like the most seasoned, I guess, left. And they're like, "Okay, Marlo's got to know if it's okay." It's like, no. No.
Would have been a perfect opportunity for Sheree to actually step up and be a lead. Like, you're an OG.
Yeah.
You, like, these girls trust, well, I don't know if they trust you, but like, you can actually talk some sense into people here. Like, you have to imagine
Sheree was there.
Right. You have to imagine if
anything.
Kandi was there. No, didn't do a thing. But
Kandi would not have let that happen.
No.
Kandi would not.
Going into the room?
She'd be like, she would say, "We'll talk to her tomorrow." Like, she would say, like, "We'll talk to her tomorrow," but like, her daughter is in the room.
Right.
That was wild. Like, all of them knocking and like, okay. So,
because I put myself like immediately in Kenya's shoes.
Yeah.
And if Brooklyn, they look like they were completely wind down too, just by looking at Kenya's hair.
Yeah.
Because like Kenya's hair was like literally all over the place. So it was all over the place. So I have to think, like, if I was Kenya and I'm laying there like on my way to bed at least, and my daughter sleep and that banging just woke up my sleeping child, Oh, I would be
Pissed.
off. Like, are you kidding me?
Pissed. Like,
Ooh.
wow. So, okay. But next week, obviously, we'll see the whole thing go down.
Yeah. Slamming the door in Manyetta's face. Like, really? Marlo is on something, man. I don't know what is going on, but she is on one.
And it's, she was trying to have her redemption season. She starts out the whole season like that. She's like, I'm just going to be quiet this season. And I'm like, well, what happened?
Right.
What actually happened?
We're 4 episodes in, and like out of like 18, this is how far you made it on your journey? Really?
Jesus. Yeah, she's about to have not a good season. And the whole cast is over her. Like Kandi, Kenya, Monyetta, not Sheree, obviously, Drew, right. But they're like, no, we're not going to play we let her get away with a lot last season, and they didn't really let her get away with much, but now this season they're like, no, we're not doing this again.
Right.
She takes it to a place that's really hard to find it entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like there's obviously we like mess, but it's like, oof, Marlo, okay.
Right.
Never mind. That's just that's almost dangerous.
The people have turned against Marlo. Oof.
They have. Yes, they have. I mean, I know people still like Marlo and want to root for her, but I think we've done our best.
We are tired, okay?
We tried over and over again, and she just makes it hard.
She does. I love me some mess. But
yes.
Marlo always, she needs to learn to reel it in sometimes. Like, you always take it one step too far. It's just like, reel it back just a little bit. Like, you don't have to. When Marlo first came onto the Real Housewives of Atlanta, she literally, like, I remember at that reunion was so, going at Kandi again, obviously, but she came to the reunion with gossip about everybody on that stage that she had heard around Atlanta. That reunion was so good because, I mean, obviously there was a hint of truth to some of this tea because people were getting pissed off. Like, they were mad. And I'm like, go back to being like the the original Bone Collector. Yeah. Like, be that. Like, this whole like taking it like 3 steps too far thing is you
cannot take someone else down. It never works. You have to just let them take themselves down.
You gotta.
Because you look crazy right now, Marlo. Saying, like, trying to connect this to Kandi and saying that Kandi's a bad person because she didn't send flowers. By the way, this was years ago. You're only bringing it up now. You didn't bring it up once last season. And now because her cousin was shot, it reminds you. And now, okay. And Sonia, don't be, Sonia, if you're going to be all defending the wrong side, Sonia is going to defend the wrong side this season. That's what's going to happen.
Always.
Yep.
Always. You know what? Sonia truly is like Sheree Jr. because Sheree has a history of always picking the wrong team.
Yes.
She can never be on the right team. And it's like, girl, you defending Kim? Really?
You know, and for real, though, this is a good point. Wait.
Can never be on the right side. Like, what?
Wait a goddamn second. Sheree she doesn't have any sense.
None.
None. She's sitting here like, Martell is my man. And we're like, that's all. Never mind.
That's dandy. Okay.
All right. All right. Well, that wraps us up today, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Don't forget to follow Kendrick at Reality and Comics 2. And
give
then,
me those 200 rating and reviews.
Go over to his. I'm gonna leave a link to his Apple podcast in the description. Just click on it. Go rate, review over on Kendrick's Pod. That would be amazing. Okay, guys. Mwah, 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 mwah. Love you so much. Mean it. Bye.
Bye.
I hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you did, would you mind leaving me a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform you are listening? If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget there's the super thanks option down at the bottom, the little button with the $sign and the heart. And also I'm on buymeacoffee.com/SheSpeaksBravo if you want to buy me a little coffee or 2 or 5. And my Patreon, that is where I'm covering all of the classic Bravo jams. If you want to follow me over there and subscribe, link is in the description. And follow me on Instagram and TikTok at SheSpeaksBravo. And whoever the guest was for today, all their information is always in the episode description. So if you want to follow them and check them out, check there for the info. And any of the sponsor codes that I mentioned in this episode will also be in the description. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.